Good morning.
Good morning. It is
Wait, did you
very.
get those storms last night?
I kind of saw them coming in because I was just sitting outside for a little bit and the lightning, and it was taking forever to finally come. But I'm
You were
like,
still up at 1 o'clock in the morning?
this was around 11.
Oh, that was far off. Okay, boy, the lightning, it just lit the house up all for about an hour and a half.
Yeah, there were a few times where I'd be starting to drift asleep, and then the lightning coming in, and it would.
Like, where did that come from? Yeah, who's visiting? Lightning. Okay.
Like, oh, that's okay.
That's okay. I can take lightning, not in my bedroom.
As long as it's out there, not in here. All right. Oh, we already have friends. Hello, Helen and Melanie, Karen. Hello, Natalie. Oh, best part of any Wednesday. Sometimes I feel like we should take that old coffee jingle and the best part of waking up.
Oh, let's not. No, nah, we won't go there.
Not be copyright
Over the
infringement.
top. Right.
Hey, Brooke. Oh, and Natalie agrees. Thank you, ladies. Let's see. Oh, it says, I heard quiet knocking on my front door. My dog started barking at it, and when I looked over, no one was there. That's what happens sometimes, right?
When the seed is up and they have been used to coming in and out and they can't, you're lucky. They usually stand out there and kick the door. So, but they don't, that takes so much energy. They don't do that for very long.
Oh, Rebecca. Hello, Rebecca.
Oh, good. You're here.
Lisa. Rana. You know, it's funny. After we got the seeds up at my old house, I have those big, because my house was 1850s built. So the big tall windows where you go buy curtains and you need like the 17 or 72-inch curtains. And because that lady couldn't get in anymore, she was standing on the front porch trying to talk to my son through the window.
Right.
Trying to get him to come open the door.
Right. Or take the seed down and open the door. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Because he kept coming in going, why are you calling my name? And I'm like,
I'm not. No, not you.
Hello, Cheryl and Judy and Mike from Solon. Let's see. Oh, so Deborah says, yeah, good morning. A bit dark still in Westlake, but cooler. Good morning to you both.
It's cool here too. I think it's only like 68 or 70 here. So I think that's it for the day too.
Well, I was deciding, I'm like, it can rain all at once last night, tonight, for the next couple of days. It cannot rain on Saturday.
No, and I haven't seen any long term. I knew the last I saw it wasn't going to be real hot, but I didn't know if it was going to rain or not. I hope not.
No, up until the day before yesterday, it was supposed to rain like on Friday, but now it's like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
No,
it was clear.
Okay.
So we should be good.
The winery, we're just talking about it. Yeah, we're going to be at the winery on this Saturday. So.
Oh, Adam says, good morning. Gloomy day. Good for ghost stories.
Actually, it is, Adam. It is.
Let's see. Dee Dee asked, do you sell a package that contains the things you need to do a ritual to remove negative energy?
No, the little kit that I would give out during the workshop. No, I don't have any of those left. We gave the last of them out, and 3 years ago, we went through them, and a lot of the stuff, the liquids were dried up. So no, I'm sorry. But, they're in the book, you can find them. And again, don't look for the off-the-wall stuff. Use garlic powder, parsley, and olive oil. You've got those in your house. You don't have to go out and buy anything else. It's not what it is as much as the consistency of it.
Mm-hmm. I think rosemary is one. That's one I use a lot.
Rosemary. Any green, crunchy type of, herb will work.
Let's see. Helen has a cool question. It says, regarding walk-ins, have you ever had to deal with a walk-in situation? How do you tell someone that their loved one is dead and that their body is being inhabited by someone else?
Well, Helen, that is a 20-minute YouTube today. Let me tell you. And that's exactly how I explain. It was the first one that I had ever gone to where this happened, and I was at a total loss. It's devastating. It truly is. So if you get a chance, watch the 5:30 one today, because that's exactly the story I'm telling after I explain what walk-ins are.
That would have to be awkward the first time. Like, how do you
Oh, it's
explain that?
miserable. It's miserable. They're looking at a body that is supposed to be their son. It looks like him, and there his ghost is standing right next to the body. I almost freaked out the first time I saw it. I thought, what is this? How is this? And then trying to figure out how to tell the parents that your kid's dead. Yeah, he hung himself and it worked.
And unfortunately, it's not him.
Yeah, right. And there was this particular story today. The kid's 28, and that when he turned 30, he was supposed to, well, he had an inheritance coming over $500,000, and the walk-in was going to get it. Not good at all.
I'm gonna say, I'm doing this all wrong. I need to go walk in somewhere.
You got to pick the right person.
Right.
You know, I mean, this walk-in and this guy actually obviously picked the right person. But yeah, it's well, if you watch Ghost Whisperer, that's when Jim, Melissa's husband, died, and he walked into somebody. And I think that's when the show, what do they call it? Jumping the Shark?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's probably the one that you got to be kidding me. So, yeah, it's okay. I told them they shouldn't have done it anyway, but what do I know?
Right.
I don't know.
Like, we're the writers around here.
Yeah, the writers know everything.
Hello, Catherine and Lisa. From Mansfield. You know, we've been contemplating one of those.
Yeah, we really are.
Vangela, Larmar. Though the whole thing with Lorimar, sorry, I said Larimar, because I'm thinking of the stone. Larimar. You know, if you'd be interested in meeting us down at Madison Reformatory, Mansfield names, so many names, Mansfield Reformatory.
Right.
You know, let us know, because that's a big one to do, and it would be a little more costly because of the amount that they charge now to rent that building out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I know you're there for hours, but the fee for that is extremely expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, people don't mind, I mean, paying $20 for the Zoom and that kind of thing, or $40 or $45 when we do a regular event. But you're talking considerably over $100 to go there. And that's, I don't feel right doing that.
Yeah, it would be kind of fun, but I'm like,
maybe there's something else that's haunted in Mansfield. Did we ever think of that?
Well, I hear that the Fireman's Museum is really
so
good.
is the Police Museum in Cleveland, so I wouldn't doubt it one little bit.
I need to go spend a day, I guess, kind of looking at these places. Like, are they even big enough? You know, are some of these little museums?
They're not. The Cleveland Police Department Museum is certainly not big enough. That couldn't do it. There's a little lunchroom there that maybe holds 10 people. So that's not going to do it. No, that's the thing. The area has to be big enough, and there has to be parking.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. You know, 50 people. No, you don't always have 50 cars, but you got probably 35 at least. And it was only that many that, you know, double up. So, and that's the other thing we try to worry. We worry about it, if there's going to be parking or not.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot into planning these events, the back end, you know, to make sure everybody has a good time. So if anybody was wondering how Lewis's jacket went with the fringe, Hello, Lewis. It says update. I successfully hand sewed 24 fridges onto the denim jacket and just finished hot gluing custom jewelry to the color, and now I'm gonna paint it.
Oh, he better be demonstrating or showing us or wearing this. We need to see this when it's done.
We do. We
Absolutely.
do. Let's see.
And is it for sale? Can it be bought?
Can it be bought? You know, Lewis, you should be recording this yourself and making little progress videos.
You should.
Let's see. Sue asks, morning blessings. Have you ever had the opportunity to meet Matt Frazier? He seems very popular now. Seems like he doesn't like earthbound spirits, only those who went into the light.
I'm sorry, I don't even know who that is. But it sounds to me that, in my opinion, he is only seeing one or the other. So if he doesn't like earthbound spirits, then he must think he sees them. Or if he sees the ones from the light, those are the ones that crossed over. So I'm not sure what he does because I don't really know who he is.
Oh. So according to his website, Matthew L. Frazier is an American psychic medium who features in the reality TV show Meet the Fraziers.
Oh.
That's
the other thing on my list of hardly ever, never do. Reality TV.
Yeah,
no matter what it is.
I don't even, like, ever since the move, I don't even have local channels because don't have the antenna, and it's like I'm not home enough really to watch.
Yeah, you know, this is the thing. Reality TV is they're walking down the street and they're filming something that's going on. It's real. It's happening then. But their idea of reality TV is somebody talking with the cameraman over on their right side taking pictures and another man holding the microphone over your head. I just don't get the word reality in there.
Yeah.
That's staged as far as I'm concerned. That's not reality.
And we have some more of our friends saying good morning. So hello, everybody, even Southern California.
Wow, they're up early.
Right. So there was a question and now my screen jumped. Somebody was asking, like, how does the person look different to you when, like, if they're a walk-in or possession, can you tell just by looking? Is there like a glow or an aura or?
No, I cannot tell just by looking. Like when a person's possessed, I can tell that by looking because they're not in that body by themselves. They are in with that person's spirit. So there's actually two spirits in that body. But when a walk-in comes in, when your spirit leaves and a walk-in comes in, it assumes the body. I can't get rid of it. The only way that spirit is going to leave is that body has to die again. Mm. So no, I cannot tell. And I've suspected a couple of times that houses that I went to, they were walk-ins, but the spirit wasn't there, so I didn't know. I can only say for sure when I see the spirit standing next to their dead body with somebody else in it. And these people are not happy about that. I mean, they didn't want their body, but by God, nobody else better be using it either. So
those bad love stories, you know?
Yeah, oh my gosh, you just don't. Well, there were some movies actually about that. Now that you said that, years ago, wasn't there some kind of a football player that died? I don't remember who the actor was. And he came back, or he died and he came back as a football player. I don't remember who. And I remember going to the show to see this, and I'm thinking, that can't happen. Oh, yes, it can.
And the universe was like, just wait.
I'll show you, lady. Yeah.
Right. Like, oh, we'll take that bet.
Right. Now we'll find just the right one for you to see this at. Yeah, they did.
Oh, see, Lewis, so many people want to see your jacket. So you're going to have to show us your jacket. Sing says, ladies, our dog just passed. Oh, so sorry.
Oh.
For 2 days after, we could smell her occasionally, the smell of her infection specifically. On day 3, we could tell she had finally crossed as the smell was gone.
Yeah, and you nailed it. That's exactly right. And if you think about it, the white light, that's exactly the right timing on that. So dog did exactly what she was supposed to, and eventually you'll dream of the dog. So you'll be better.
Hmm. Oh, so Adam has not come back. He can't get in. So nobody can come back in. The ghost that the guy ghost that was here.
Oh no, 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 no. He cannot come back in. Absolutely not.
No, he's probably bugging the neighbors, and that's fine with me.
Yeah,
Um,
you hate to do that, but it's your space, so you need to clear your space.
although I finally somewhat met the neighbor on the one side of me, and they have a little one. So, and I remember thinking like, oh, I should probably get to know them a little better. Like, so how are things over there? How's your daughter doing?
Yeah, but you're the new person on those. I would really think about that for a while before I say something.
Right.
Like the lady has all the art on her and the little earrings all over her face, and now she's telling me there's a ghost in my house.
Yeah.
Okay, lady, you are out of here.
Right. So, like she's the weird one in our strip.
Right.
So for those who didn't go back and watch or haven't watched last week's episode yet about possessions, what was the fun little bit about Mother Teresa?
There was an article in the Plain Dealer, and I don't have it in front of me. I think it was 1997, maybe. Mother Teresa was in her 80s, and she was having a hard time sleeping. And the bishop down in Calcutta, I think it was Calcutta, decided that she must be possessed. Well, hell, I've been possessed for years then if I can't sleep at night, right? So they went ahead and they did a possession ceremony on her, which I thought was totally crazy nuts. But there it was, black and white.
I mean, I would lean towards stress first. Improper nutrition.
Well, her age, and I think it's common. They say the older you get, the less sleep you actually need. So, I mean, you're not running around crazy like you were in your 40s and 50s. Now you're in Mother Teresa in her 80s. Well, yeah, she's not going to sprint down the hallway. She's going to walk down the hallway. So, yeah, I don't believe she was possessed at all. No.
I should know more on Mother Teresa than I do, but there's been little interesting things that have popped up, on her along the way. And
she was pretty unique, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
She definitely had gifts, and I think she was such a caring person. So, but that was her vocation. That's what she chose to do.
Oh, so Adam says, come to Dayton, plenty of haunted places like the Air Force Museum.
Yeah, but would they let us in with a crowd of people?
That's the thing. In some of the museums, that's one thing I learned when I first contacted that Fireman's Museum. If they are a nonprofit, it gets wonky about whether or not we would be allowed to charge admission to cover the cost of the rental and everything because it's a nonprofit.
Oh.
So it's sometimes there's these little bitty lines that pop up, and it's like, how do we navigate around that and still make it fun for everybody? But I'll have to look more at Dayton. I spent last weekend, not this immediate weekend, the weekend before, kind of exploring around Columbus and Germantown. So there might be a little.
I've been to Germantown, and there's definitely activity there. Now, in all honesty, this was before COVID. So I don't know, since obviously they weren't there during COVID because nobody was there. And are they coming back now? I don't know, but I would guess pretty much. But there's got to be other places, especially down in the Dayton area, that would have something.
Yeah, I mean there has to be, because there's only so much you can do, like scoping out with Google, So sometimes it requires kind of like actually physically being there, seeing the size of a building, kind of feeling it out. And it turned out like the restaurant that we stopped at, and I'm like, oh, Okay.
Yeah,
Like,
maybe.
we're
Right.
doing an event. Where do we put all the cars? Because Germantown, man, it's worse than Lakewood when it comes to parking.
I figured it out though with restaurants because when Ted and I would just do events on our own, we were pretty good with hotels because they usually have a banquet room or, you know, a wedding reception room or and that type of thing. And some restaurants, they do have party rooms in them.
Mhm.
And they would be big enough too. And I think now because the shortage on the wait staff, because nobody wants to work, they're not even open, just closed on Mondays and open they're usually closed on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays.
Mhm.
So I think, maybe something could be worked out with some of these people.
Yeah, it's just some phone calls and some emails. So there's a couple of places I'm working on right now.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. Oh, there's a couple people saying that they would love to come down to a Mansfield event if we did Mansfield.
Mansfield's not that far. With all the highways, it's like people that are East Siders and West Siders. They are firm East Siders. They are firm West Siders. It takes too long to get from here to there. 480, you can go pretty fast on 480. It
Well,
doesn't take long to get on the other side of town.
the first time I started hearing that when I moved back to Ohio and thinking like, here I have Goddess Elite and I would be at a show more on the east side. And if I said, oh, it's only 15 minutes away, oh, I'd love to come. But if I said, oh, we're in North Olmsted, oh, well, that's too far.
Yeah, I know. It was like, and nothing against my family, but when we moved to Worcester, it was too far for them to come down to visit me in Worcester. Now, you have to understand, though, it wasn't too far for us to come up from Worcester to visit because it was only longer to go the other way.
Right.
So it's like, okay.
And having grown up, out in the middle of nowhere, like between Oberlin and Wakeman, where it's a 15-20 minute drive just to get to a full-size grocery store. I remember thinking, I'm like, that's nothing.
No.
But I just learned it.
And houses that I've done, like in Texas, the one man that brought me down to Texas, he says, well, we're going to do my house, or we're going to do my mom's house, and we're going to do my aunt's house. And I said, okay. He says, we'll just drive to him. And I said, okay. So I did his house. He says, let's go get in the truck. We got in the truck. And he said, he had some bottles of water. And I said, aren't we just going to your mother's house? He says, yeah, she's close. She's about 2 hours away.
Whoa.
Texans think that 2 to 3 hours is nothing.
Right.
They do that. That's what they do. It's
Like,
how long? And then 2.5 hours to the other house? Oh my God, we're going to be gone all day. So
hope you had nothing else planned.
no, lunch. Took me
Right.
to a nice restaurant, so that was good.
Well, there you go.
Except the restaurant was haunted and I couldn't eat because he kept asking me questions.
Like, shh.
Let me eat.
What your mouth is doing.
Yeah.
This is what I wanted to do. Gina says, Marian, I was the girl who asked last week how to keep my deceased ex out of my dreams. I couldn't respond then to you, but now I can. To remember what you had suggested last week.
I do not.
I remember you saying it's not as easy of a thing to do.
No, it's not, because well, the one thing is that he crossed over. Otherwise, he wouldn't be in your dreams. Mm-hmm. So that's for sure. But I don't know how. I mean, I can help people to remember their dreams, but I don't know how to tell people not to remember their dreams. I don't know how you would do that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't have a quick answer either.
I don't know. Maybe somebody out there has an idea. I don't know, but I have no idea how to do that.
I mean, other than, and this is where you get into the whole healing aspect of taking the time, maybe in a meditation or purposefully trying to contact him, and just like, what is your message then? Like, let's get it out on the table. What do you want to say?
Well, that's a good idea. Ask him what his problem is and why he's hanging around, and why doesn't he go see his own folks and his own relatives instead of bugging me. I got rid of you for a reason, unless he is just trying to
Apologize, maybe,
apologize.
you know, and, that's probably the quickest way to get it to quit is
See,
to,
I don't understand if he is being snarky in the dream and sneering and that type of thing. In all honesty, that's you dreaming about him then. That's not him in your dream. Because if he's in the white light and you're dreaming about him, he's going to be nice.
Mhm.
So again, maybe think about that too. Maybe he's not really in your dream. Maybe you're just, flashing back to him.
Could be. Yeah. So, depending on which way we're dealing with here. So Dee Dee asks, have you ever heard of things happening after you start wearing a quincy? I recently started leaving my body, which is something I've been interested in for years, but I've never been able to do.
Well, you know what? If you've been trying to astroplane and you couldn't do it because of earthbound spirits, then if they're gone and they can't get around you, then you can do that if that's what you choose to do. So that's probably why you couldn't do it before, but now the house is clear. And so that's why you can astroplane.
Let's see. The screen just jumped on me. So the list of questions I had ready to go just
disappeared.
Yep. Yep. So now we're scrolling. So in the meantime, here's my ramble of filling in the dead space. If you're new and joining us,
that'll work.
Right. They'll never know. Mary Ann was the inspiration and consultant behind the TV show The Ghost Whisperers. So if you have questions about earthbound spirits, portals, negative energies, feel free to ask questions in the comments and she will answer them for you. Let's see. So a lot of requests to come to different places.
Good.
Our regular request for Savannah, Georgia.
Oh, yeah,
and
well.
Melanie, yeah. That would be cool to start doing out of state trips.
Well, somebody invited me down to Atlanta, begged me to come down to Atlanta, and again, I'm not leaving Ohio at this point in my life. And they drove up here over the weekend so I could do what I had to do.
Mm-hmm. Well, and now I see a couple questions. So in regards to the Wine and Spirits event, Marianne will be there. Marianne is not a psychic medium, so you will not have to sign up for readings, but you can come up and talk to her, have books signed, all fun stuff. We just ask not to monopolize her time because there's going to be other people there that want to talk to her.
Bring pictures. Let me see if I can see anything in pictures, ask questions. And again, just be aware, keep looking at who's standing behind you. Because if it's, I'll move you along because I'll be there. And I love talking, but everybody needs to, and that's why we're hoping for good weather.
Right. Which right now says
I guess we should say the time, huh?
Yeah. So 5 to 10 in the evening at John Christ Winery in Avon on Walker Road. Come early, parking kind of fills up, but you can park along, the road and kind of walk back. Their wine is good, but you do not have to drink. They do have non-alcoholic, so anybody can come. It's free admission. You only have to pay to either get a reading or a healing or any of the goods that might be, but you can come right in, walk around, not pick up a thing and not put out any money whatsoever. So
right.
It's a really fun time. So Lewis says, no, unfortunately is not for sale. It's a project for school about regenerative garments and recreation. So it'd be fun to see those still.
Yeah, I still want to see it. I'll grade it for you.
Right. We might be a little biased, but
yeah, just a little.
Tell your teachers what we all have to say.
You need a letter of recommendation?
That's right. We will email them all in. Lorena says, good morning from Conroe, Texas. Help. I see a girl in my house who looks so much like my daughter.
Keep this in mind. Children's earthbound spirits like children. So if she reminded you of your daughter, she's probably approximately the same age as your daughter. And that would make sense. The only good thing about having ghost children in your house is this. When they died, say they died in 1950 and they were 10, they are still 10 years old because they don't age. Say this little ghost child came into your house and your daughter was 8. So she's going to stay with your daughter for a couple of years, but as soon as your daughter gets past 10, she's going to go look for a house that's got younger children again. So ghost kids usually don't stay in the house. The only time I worry about ghost kids is when they're naughty and they make the live children do bad things. So,
Little bad influences from the other side.
oh yeah, Bobby made me do it, and he did. So,
Bobby's a little jerk. We don't like
yes, yes.
Oh, hello from Toledo. Swifty has a pretty cool question. Do spirits hang around paramedics so they can walk into the body of someone they're trying to save?
That is not uncommon. Yeah. They'll hang around, go to fires, and they're not going to walk into a body that is not going to be okay when it heals. So they're not going to, I mean, you don't have to worry about somebody walking into a dead 80-year-old person's body, because why would they ever want that? So, but yeah, paramedics, if they're on the street, when there's a car accident, and the other place they hang out is hospitals. You know, not everybody makes it out of surgery. So, and yeah, so there it is too. And one of the walk-ins was a mother that had died giving birth at a hospital, and her baby lived, but she couldn't touch her, she couldn't hold her, she couldn't do anything because she was a ghost and she didn't want to be around her. And there was another lady that died probably 8 or 10 months after this woman died, and she took over her body, and somehow she was able to see her biological daughter. She made friends with those people that, or they were her relatives, so she could go. The thing that surprised me though is that usually walk-ins don't remember their past life. This woman, maybe it's the mother-baby thing, the bond is tight, I don't know, but she did remember her own daughter.
Wow. You know, there's a whole thing right now that's kind of surging in popularity, at least in a little community that of people that I know, with access consciousness, about the whole walk-in thing and being, yay, I'm a walk-in. And I'm just going, I don't know how I feel about that. You know, I probably should investigate more on that, but
nobody that I've run across, except this lady with the baby, they do not remember their past life. They remember how to be a mechanic. They remember how to cook. They remember how to do whatever they were good at when they were alive. And that could be drinking or drugs for that matter. But they don't remember their name. They don't remember anything about them. And because they were unconscious when this happened, everybody assumes, well, he didn't get oxygen to the brain, so that's why he's a little off now, and that's why he can't remember. People make excuses for anything that they can't explain. And
how similar it might be to where somebody gets a transplant and you hear of like, oh, somebody got a liver or a heart, and then now, you know, that person who didn't like spicy food now loves spicy food. And
right.
Her, you know, loved.
I haven't found that very much with body parts that are going from one person to another. That I haven't really noticed. I know that some people are afraid to sign a donor card because they're afraid that if their heart or their liver or their eyes go to somebody that won't take care of them, it's like, you're dead. Who cares? It doesn't make any difference. But so, you know, I guess it's whatever you're comfortable with.
So I see a couple requests on how to get in touch with you. So you can go to Marianne's website. The phone number is there. Um, like Dora says, good evening. I need your help. You came to my house in Garrettsville with the Cleveland Magazine. How can I
Oh
contact
my
you?
gosh. What was that,
So
25 years ago?
So this is how you can get a hold of Marianne, and also on the website is where you would pick up quince seeds, the dream pillows, this sea salt soaps, which Marianne will have all of this also
At the winery.
at the winery here on the 18th.
Right. Are we
Uh,
full on Zooms for this month? Are we done?
The 20th has like 5-6 spots, and the 27th is pretty open.
Oh, okay.
So the 20th and 27th are the last two Zooms for this month to fill in. We haven't released any October dates yet because we don't want to get too far out.
Right.
Because I just start losing organization if we go too far out. I will take all the blame on that one.
And I think the 20th is a full moon, if I'm not mistaken.
It is, because that's why I was so excited for the 18th. And I'm like, we'll actually have some extra light. It'll be pretty. It's on.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It'll be an interesting one on the 20th then.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Everybody should have a good time. Let's see. Rebecca, whoops, here we go, says, I was observing a shamanic presentation online and the woman suggested that everyone try automatic writing. Isn't that dangerous?
That would be right up there with the Ouija board as far as I'm concerned. You would really have to know how to protect yourself. You would have to, you couldn't do this without having a quince seed on you. And there was a lady in Canal Fulton who was a really good psychic. I mean, everybody raved about her. And she was, 30 years ago, she was already in her 70s. So I doubt if she's around. Mm-hmm. But she did automatic writing. And she ended up, this automatic writer that she was talking to wanted to combine their bodies so he could give her more information, and she was silly enough to do it. And that's giving permission to somebody.
Pretty much possession.
In another form, yeah. And so her husband called me, and I can assure you after that, she never did automatic writing. And it was just not a good person that totally lied, said who they were. They weren't. It was terrible. So yeah, I wouldn't do it personally, but
I mean, any of these divination things but you have to start with your basics of like
learning how to protect yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Be careful who you think you're contacting. Earthbound spirits, if they were liars when they're alive, they're going to be liars when they're dead. Just because they're dead doesn't mean they have to tell the truth. So yeah, no, you have to be very, very careful.
Right. I mean, it's kind of like I was telling one lady in the store, is like, you don't just jump into a race car and start driving down the track, right? You go through driver's ed, you go through your safety, you learn to drive a regular car. You don't just jump in and do expert mode. So you have to learn your basics.
Very careful.
So
and I think that's the biggest problem with anybody that does any kind of metaphysical activities like that. Their biggest problem is they don't know how to protect themselves or the space they're doing the work in. Mm-hmm. If you're a card reader and you're having people come to your house to do this, they're bringing stuff with them. So your house has got to be protected too. So just think before you do something like that.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Elizabeth says, good morning, ladies. I live in an apartment in a 2-family home. I would like to smudge it. I feel that there's a lot of negative energy from the previous tenant. Can I do just my apartment?
Well, that's all you can do, Elizabeth, because that's what you're paying rent for. You cannot do anything that is not yours. So, yeah, and I think anybody that moves into a new space should smudge anyway and get the energy out from the previous owners or tenants. So absolutely smudge. It's not going to do anything. The only thing that's going to happen is it will clear up some of the negative energy, or do the ceremony in the back of when ghosts speak on the apartment. That will take care of your negative energy. And by smudging, if there's any ghosts in your part of the house, unfortunately, they're going to go to the other half of the house. But they're out of your space.
Right. It's
It's
yay. Oh.
yeah, I'm doing a house tomorrow where it's a 2-family house. And there's a portal, and it's not in the girl's apartment, that the half that she's renting, but it's in the house that the other people are renting. So I said, how do you do that? And so she says, I'm going to talk to her. She talked to her, and she started giving her Bible verses. And I said, you're going to have to get hold of the owner. And the owner is going to be meeting us there. And she's going to take us into that so I can close the portal. So, but you have to, and this woman doesn't have any choice where the portal is because she doesn't own the property.
Right. Makes it a little sticky, but thankfully the property owner is willing to.
Yeah, I was impressed that she said yes. It's happened over the years, but it's not something. Now, she didn't say she's paying for it. I've actually had some homeowners that paid for their rentals to be cleared, but that's okay. They need this closed, so.
Oh, so the movie about the football player, Adam says the movie was Heaven Can Wait.
Yes, thank you, Adam. That's exactly what that was. Yes.
And we have some accolades for your charms. Tana says, I have your charms. I love them. They're so pretty. Wear it every day.
Oh, good.
And they are. I mean, they're a nice size to where they're not cumbersome and in the way. And they work. You just leave them on. It's all good. And small enough you can stick them on the door.
Yes, you can. Well, you took yours down and put a seat up now there, didn't you?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, why waste it on the door?
Right. No.
Yes, no, do that.
Give me back my kitty cat charm.
That's right. And we are bringing back one of the ghosts for Halloween. The ghost charm.
Is it the little fat guy like I have?
It is. Yeah,
I like his chunky little butt.
Yeah, he's a cutie. Yeah.
So Melissa, did you get rid of the grumpy old lady? So she was actually the first one to leave that day when we put the seat up, and she saw. So I think actually she walked past me. You could feel it. And
right.
It was the guy Adam who wanted to test
a little bit of he was a jerk.
So the snarky side of me says, well, now you're stuck here till I decide to take it down.
Yeah, right. Not. No, not happening.
I'm stubborn that way. Guess what we're going to play now?
Yeah. So just tell Melissa the opposite of what you want, and then you'll get it. And your son hasn't figured that out yet? Oh, I bet he has.
Oh, when he was little, he would try, just some of the typical little kid tactics. And I'm like, has that worked for you before yet? And he's like, no.
It's funny, when our oldest started kindergarten, she came home, and after a couple of days, anything she told me that she started with, well, and then she would tell me whatever she was going to tell me. Turned out that every time she said, well, she told a little fib. And she never could understand how I knew that. But she talk about a tell.
Right. That a literal tell.
Right.
Kids are so funny. My son, that whole argument, nature versus nurture. And for the longest time, his dad wasn't around. And as he grew up, like, he would have certain little body tics, little facial expressions, certain way he would giggle or laugh. And I'm like, he's not even here for you to learn that. And I would tell him, and I'm like, I know you're fibbing to me, because, thinking to myself, because that's what your dad would do. So no, let's try this again, buddy.
We watched that a lot when we had our foster children, because we wondered, we're giving them a good environment. They came from a horrible environment. But yeah, I think
like
The
in the
genes
actual
are there. The genes are there.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it was very because I had a great interest in like psychology, sociology. For a little bit of time, I was thinking of being an FBI profiler when I was a little kid in college. And so that was always interesting to me. And then I'm like, I have a real life example of one in the house of that nature versus nurture argument.
Right. Right.
Again, like grew up with a mom with heavy metal, and this kid walks around with Pink Floyd and Peter Gabriel. And I'm like, how
How
did
do you
this
know
happen?
that? Right. Right.
And it's the crap that his dad would listen to. And I'm like, we
Right.
are not playing any more Pink Floyd. Like, just hang me. No more.
Right.
The songs never end. So Catherine was with us on Friday and says, "Hi, I was informed Friday via Zoom that my deceased mother-in-law wants me to leave, is attempting to cause problems between my husband and me. We were cut off. I was asked if an entity is attached to me, and you replied, 'Isn't your mother-in-law enough?' Question, does she leave the house with me, or is she attached to my husband?"
She probably, I mean, I don't remember the question or remember the Zoom event, but she can go with you. She can go with your husband. She can stay. She's probably going to be around him whenever you are around him because that's what she's trying to break up. So, yeah, start smudging, lady. Don't let her get an upper hand.
Mm-hmm. And Leilani was with us, and she says, "Good morning, ladies. I was on Zoom last Friday, and the one who accidentally trapped the two ghosts when I put my quince seeds up. They are out of the house now. Do I still need to smudge the house?"
Absolutely not. You're fine. Smudging is done once the seeds are in place. Don't ever have to do it again.
Let's see. Sink says, "I was wondering, when you passed, you wear what you were wearing when you passed or what you were buried in. How does that work with cremation?"
A lot of the people that I see when I get invited to funerals is standing at the foot of the casket, and they usually have on what they are buried in. So that would be that answer. But you have to understand, I have seen them change clothes. And I have no idea where they even come from. I mean, what is there, Dillard's in the sky? I don't know where they get the clothes. Just like they have tobacco for pipes and cigars and cigarettes. Where do they get that stuff from? I don't know. So no, absolutely. And as far as cremation goes, to my knowledge, if the family doesn't want the garments back that they wore for the viewing, I'm assuming that they are burned with the body. I need to find out, and that I don't know. And I know enough undertakers. I need to ask. I don't know what they do with artificial knees and hips and that, because I don't think that stuff burns. Yeah, so I don't know what they do with that. I'm not sure. And when I die, I won't need my artificial knees anymore, so who cares?
Good point, right? Who needs that anymore?
Who needs them?
I don't bionic knee anymore.
I don't need them.
So thanks, guys. I keep looking down and grabbing my phone. Some people are putting some suggestions in for places. So I now have tab 58 open on my phone.
Oh, God.
I swear I'm not ADD. I just do research all the time. Thanks. It's a kickback to Peter Steele from Typo Negative, band that I listened to. He's no longer with us on the living side, unfortunately. Let's see. Lots of questions back and forth on protection. So a couple of people have asked, can you give examples of good protection?
I like the white light. Obviously, I'm a firm believer of wearing the quince seed. And think about people that do readings or some kind of metaphysical work in their house. Your house should be protected with the seeds up. So if somebody comes to your front door and it's the next client, you say, come on in. If they've got a ghost attached to them, they're coming with them. So if you had a seed over the door, they would wait out in the car for them. So those, and like people that read tarot cards, you have to clean those cards at least every third reading. At least every third reading. That's why a lot of tarot card readers have more than one deck. So they can use up one deck, put it to the side, and get the next one. Plus the fact that I don't know how many people realize when you buy a new deck of tarot cards, no matter what kind they are, even if you're using a regular deck of cards to read, which a lot of people do, you've got to sleep on those cards for 3 days before they're going to work for you, before they're going to be your cards. Maybe they're going to have energy on from whoever made them or designed them or the factory where they came from. So if you don't sleep on them for 3 days and make them yours, you're not giving a very good reading.
So Gina brings up a pretty cool question, and it makes me harken back to like in some of my beginning days. It's somebody I mentioned this. It says, can a person intently watching a real life ghost documentary somehow attract an earthbound spirit to them or directly to their house? And I had somebody tell me, like, the fact that you're watching it, you're attracting that through the electricity of the TV. And I'm like, no.
No. You can watch as many of those crazy shows that you want to, and it doesn't make any difference. It's entertainment. You are not going to end up having a ghost come buzzing through the TV and sit next to you while you're watching it. Absolutely not. Does not happen.
Let's see, a couple new friends joining us. Hello. And Heather, hello from Cleveland. I could use Marianne's help. How do I get in touch? Go to Marianne's website right there on the screen. And the contact info is on the website, usually down towards the bottom. Phone number and email, though phone is better. Marianne doesn't touch computers, so emails get cycled through a couple of people who are the best to answer. So call, leave a message from the house or the place that you're having the problems with.
Now, for those of you that are from out of state, at this time, I am not taking any out-of-state phone calls. Ohio is it. However, if I've talked to you on Zoom and you are from out of state, you can leave a message because I've already got, I've already got something going with you. You're not a stranger at that point. So you can leave a message, but anybody new, I got to catch up with what I've got.
So Melanie says, I'm not giving up on you coming to Savannah, Georgia.
Oh my God. My sister, my sister is trying to entice me, pay me, buy a ticket to come down to her house for Christmas in Florida. No, I'm not.
So Lewis has an interesting question. It says, Marianne, if someone showed you a live feed of their security cameras in their home, could you see spirits that way? Might be a way to save time. And we actually had somebody kind of do that.
We did that after when we had that thing at the store the last time. Somebody actually on her cameras, her surveillance cameras outside. Yes, she did. Yeah, I have to admit it looked like a shadow. Mm-hmm. But it was one was a couple animals. You could tell the one was a cat and the other one was a raccoon. So yes, but she held the phone and showed it to me. I don't know. Well, it was so obvious. I think even if that was shown on something like this, everybody could see it. Well, you saw it, didn't you, Melissa?
Really quickly. Like
all the people in line, there was 20 people in line. I think she showed it to all of them and every one of them could see it. So yes.
Yeah. So it's pretty, it would be good if you actually have a video. That would be a good thing to bring with you. So let's see, just making sure I'm not missing anything. So Melanie says, why don't you do psychic mediumship readings? It's because Marianne is not a psychic or medium.
If the ghost doesn't give me the information, I'm clueless, just like you. I have no idea.
So mediumship pertains to people that have crossed over, people that have died that have crossed over, not the earthbounds running around. Psychic is things that hasn't happened yet, though a lot of times mediumship gets lumped underneath the umbrella of psychic. So that's
Big catch-all, which is
Yeah.
so wrong. Yeah.
So that's the distinction. So
And I don't think some people realize when they sign up for a reading what it is they exactly want. You really have to see the person that's an expert in what you're looking for.
well, and that's a question that we answer so many times at our psychic fairs. And I'm like, well, who would you like to see? Well, I don't know. What kind of reading do you want? I don't know. And depending on how long the line is behind them, I'm like, do you want to talk to somebody that died and crossed over, or do you want to know what hasn't happened yet? That's what it comes down to. Dead people or stuff getting ready to happen. Oh.
Yeah. Oh, now I have to make up my mind for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So, those are the type of clients that I'm like, okay, we need to funnel you towards the psychic medium because they're going to be able to kind of do both. So, I mean, there's a longer explanation for each one, but that is why, because Marianne is not a psychic medium. Though that pesky umbrella, technically you could fall under that, but then it's misleading. So
Yeah, exactly.
what you
It's
do.
not what I do. Right. And
Oh, Hagerstown, Maryland. So Angie says, hello, beautiful ladies. I admire and respect you so much. Marianne, I am from Hagerstown, Maryland, and live in a house built in 1913. I know we have spirits here. I want to know if you feel any negativity. That's where Zoom comes in.
Right. But I like Hagerstown, Maryland. When we show dogs, we went to a big dog show there. So I like Maryland. But no, come on Zoom and I'll be able to tell if you've got something if you come on Zoom.
Mm-hmm. Let's see, trying to get through some questions real quick. Dee Dee says, what happens when someone donates their body to science and doesn't have a family to hold a memorial? Does the spirit still cross over? I asked because we had a cadaver with a similar story.
If that was their choice, that their body to be donated, then they probably went to the light the very second they took their last breath. That's what happens with people that do not want any kind of memorial service. Their 48 to 72 hours would start immediately. So nothing happens as long as that's what they wanted to be done with their body. Now, some people that moms live to be 100, all her friends are dead, we'll just cremate her, funerals are too expensive. That may be a reason why mom stays, because that's not what she wanted. So if as long as you're doing what the dead person wants, it's okay.
Let's see. Vicky asks, once someone is already possessed, does putting a Quincy charm on have any effect on the earthbound spirit in them?
It does not. It will not remove them. Just like when somebody has a curse or negative energy on them, you can wear a charm. It will not remove it, but it will stop it from getting any thicker or darker. But it won't take away what's there.
And Judy Miles, does a walk-in recognize the people that the body knew?
No. And that's where they say, well, he was dead for 7 minutes. His brain didn't get any oxygen. That's why he doesn't remember his job anymore. That's why he doesn't remember how to play golf anymore. That's why he doesn't know Aunt Millie anymore, because he can't recognize her because it's not who it was. That's what the problem is. But the interesting thing is they can still remember how to do things that they did when they were alive. But like this one today, he's a mechanic. These people were extremely wealthy. They had staff that lived on the property. They had people that just took care of all their cars in their 10-car garage. And he's back there ripping apart motors under hoods, which, why in the world would he ever know that? He worked in an art museum. So no, but the guy remembered how to do that from when he was alive in his own body.
So interesting. Okay, so there's a lot of questions here. So I'm gonna have to ask you guys to kind of join us next week because we're a little after 11. And
already, yeah.
I've got to get to the store. Normally it's my day off and we could keep going, but I've got to help fill in with an employee who's out for personal reasons. Oh, thank you. I do miss him in the band. So if you are looking to join us on Zoom, Zoom is where Mary Ann can actually tell you what's going on in your house, because then the cameras are going both ways. We can see you, and even if you sit in front of a white wall, she can tell you what's going on in the house. Whereas on here, you can't do that because you can't see you. So join us on, like, where did my link go? Like
The
things.
20th or the 27th?
Yes, of September. Here we go. So here is the link. You can also go to Goddess Elite, go under events, and it'll be in there as well. But the link does work. You just have to kind of type it in because it doesn't let you copy paste it from the screen, unfortunately. It is limited to 25 people. Everybody will get to ask questions. So you got to hang in there till we get to you. We try to go through the new people first. And I say try because we've had people use different emails. And so the system's like, they're new. But everybody asks the 2 questions. We ask you to try and keep it to 2 questions. And I'm getting better at kind of that cutoff because we want to be respectful of everybody's time who paid to be there too. So keep it to what's going on currently and right now, not what happened when you were 10 in a different location.
And I can appreciate that because they know we're not going to laugh at them, but everybody wants to ask their questions. I need to know what the problem is now in this time period.
Mm-hmm. And these start at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time in the evening. We love everybody to join us, but please be mindful of the time change. And sign on at the right time for you to equal our 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. And we go until everybody has their questions answered. So, come join us. The 20th and 27th are Mondays. Otherwise, we usually have a Friday and 2 Mondays a month that we do. So once these ones fill out, we'll start looking into October. And October probably will be really, really popular because people think Ghost only.
Because it only happens in October.
Right. So, feel free to join us. We're here almost every Wednesday. There's only been a handful, not even a full handful of times where we didn't make it.
We've been very good about this.
Yeah, there's been a couple times where the computers would not work for whatever reason. So it wasn't us for lack of trying. I know.
The Mercury retrograde is coming the end of the month. Shh.
Mercury
talk about it yet.
Mercury retrograde. People are now already blaming Mercury retrograde the pre-shadow, like this early in the month. And I'm like, see, y'all, just stop it.
No, this is bad enough. I mean, you get an effect a little bit the day before and it lasts maybe a little bit more the next day after it's over. But no, it's just in that time period. Mercury didn't decide to go retrograde just for an hour today, but it's not going to be bad until the end of the month. No, come on.
Right.
Don't make it worse than it is. It's bad enough.
There was something again going on. Trying to get my Glowforge to get on the new internet because it was new because the system moved and it was just being wonky. And I think it was Colleen who was there working that day with me. And I'm like, look, and Mercury's not retrograde. So like I call shenanigans on the whole thing.
Listen, I saw it on TV on it's who's the Los Angeles people with Hetty? NCIS Los Angeles. I don't know if you've ever watched that little Hetty lady that runs the place. She went up to Deeks and he said, I'm having a problem. She says, well, it's Mercury retrograde. She runs this huge conglomerate of all these intelligence and people, but it's Mercury retrograde. I'm thinking, you gotta be kidding me. Because it really wasn't. So that's okay.
She always reminded me of the little fashion character from The Incredibles, the one that would make their super suits.
I never saw that, so I don't know.
Oh, she looks just like her. I was surprised.
I love her. She's so nice. She's so cute.
I'm like, she wasn't the inspiration because she looks just like her.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us. Join us with Zoom. Otherwise, we're back here every Wednesday at 10. And Mary Ann, your videos hit at 5:30 in the evening on Wednesdays.
Yes. And today will be walk-in, so
Yeah.
tune in if you got time, and it'll be there. You can go back and catch it if you don't have time today. All of these you can go back and redo.
They are there. So please, and thank you for both Brooke and Julie who are helping do the media for me there. Please subscribe to both channels, hit the notifications. It helps us out and make sure the video gets out there. You ultimately get notified that we're even live. So that helps a great bit, especially if you want to keep joining us and knowing that you'll get that little like, hey, Marianne and Melissa are live now. So that helps out quite a bit. But we'll see everybody next Wednesday at 10 a.m.
We will. Have a good weekend, everybody.